It's your boy Shells here with my guy Zilla on the analyst desk going into game number 2 here between Capedogs Unleashed and Zenigma Eclipse. My guy Zilla, what do you think about this last game we had here?
Insane. I mean, we said it late game was where they were going to just go crazy. CDU, they had that really big team fight and just led the way for the win of the game. And you saw in the early game, though, Zenigma played to what they were supposed to play like, and they destroyed them earlier.
Exactamundo. And as we do see these bans come through, we're going to have Capedogs, I believe, on the blue side once more. Zenigma Eclipse on the red side. We've seen the Wukong, the Akali, and Viego. Same 3 bans come out for Capedogs. And basically the same bans here from Zenigma, except the Nocturne does go through, and very, very quickly Capedogs does pick up that Nocturne.
Yup, and it's as you said earlier today, are we going to see a Xin Zhao? And we, of course, aren't going to see a Xin Zhao. I don't think, maybe even for this whole playoff series, we're not going to see a single Xin played. I mean, you see right here the ban coming in from Zenigma.
Yeah, we're not going to see the Xin Zhao at all. And both these junglers, actually, I don't know, because, no, Panic Dingo is Pallycraft, but Jungle Gym is not Zinjaredon. So I don't know if Jungle Gym's champ pool includes that Xin Zhao, but just to keep it safe, we probably won't see it at all. But we will see some more off meta picks in this Zac. We're looking at Zenigma going ahead and saying, Jungle Gym, okay, you played all right on that Diana, but late game we didn't have enough frontliners, we didn't have enough tanks. Let's go ahead and put you on this Zac, this sustain drain champion here with the Tristana in the bot lane for a tonic. This could be a very good way to set up the Tristana very well. Less impactful than a Diana early game, but definitely moves toward that mid and late game a little bit stronger in the Zac.
And I agree with you. And it's as you said, last game they just didn't have as much frontline for Zenigma. They had a Jace, and he just got eaten up from the side of CDU.
Yeah, the Jace just wasn't looking pretty good against the Mundo early on, but once you got the team fights, all you had was poke and then one Braum, which we do see a return to again for Vidra, but it just wasn't enough with a Mundo and a Trundle, especially with that Subjugate coming out. You had no shot of ever surviving in those fights there. But there's going to be, for sure, some very strong protection going on for this Tristana for Zenigma Eclipse. Over on CDU, once more, going to see the Thresh and Ashe lane for Yodacious and Hayes Talon. Worked last game. Why change it? I mean, you get the Nocturne back and you get your bot lane duo back there. Lock it in there. Both sides potentially going for the jungle and bot lane. We're seeing in both these drafts so far, we've seen heavy priority on getting these bot lanes locked in very, very early. Victor, Jax are the 2 bans here from the Capedogs, and then Mundo, Shin for Zenigma. Very, very similar bans from both these squads. Obviously, the Mundo's a new face here. What are you looking for here in this Zenigma second round of picks?
Oh, and we see the Azir hover again, and they're going with it again. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that one. And maybe it's a protect the Tristana, because they aren't really doing as much. They don't have that much damage right now.
Yeah, Tristana brings out some damage. Then you have the scalability of an Azir, which is fine. It's magic damage DPS, which is cool, right? But the biggest thing that I noticed about Warboss Justin's Azir last game was that it was difficult to gank. Outside of that, I mean, it was mainly Panic Dingo stepping up and handing over his flash after getting shuffled to the tower, and mostly plays that were more defensive in nature than actually things that made me think, okay, this is very good Azir play. This is Azir play that I can understand why it's prioritized. But Capedogs is saying, look, if you guys want to go ahead and pick the comp, you can do what you want to. We can run back what we did last game, throwing the pick in the Nocturne, which was taken away from us in the ban phase last game. We can run this back. Especially with the Kale into Azir. Kale, we saw Sirius for a while look very, very good on this Kale into the Azir. No problem at all. They're saying, look, you don't want to ban out what cooked you last game? That's cool with us. We're going to take this next one too.
And we see like both the teams have similar comps. More on the side of CDU, they have the Trundle, like they have basically 4 returning champs. And then you also see the set locked in. Hubbard.
Yeah, talk to me about this Enigma composition. Obviously, it's much different than the poke that came out last game, but 3 frontliners, well, 2 frontliners for sure, and then the set, which is literally, I mean, just super giga broken, hard to kill. A lot of damage comes through, a lot of good setup as well. Talk to me about what you see in this Enigma composition here.
So I think they're doing this Protect the Tristana comp here. They have this Nocturne that's going to be diving in, and I think they're going to want to maybe put Braum and Set, or just Set with the Tristana, and then ult the Nocturne into their comp, and then it should be a big brawl from there.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening. I mean, I think that honestly, there's a lot of really good setup, right? You have the set facebreaker, you have the showstopper to get some players displaced. Even if you want to use a flash to get in there, you have the stream of shuffle there for the. For the Azir. I mean, there's a lot of good ways to move players out of positioning and to get them out of the way. But once again, you're kind of stuck in a situation where if you have a comp that wants to mainly protect Tristana, you're not going to have a very fun time with Sirius for Y seeing a side lane scaling up. Because at a certain point, like, okay, that's cool, but Lord Dom's Revenge does exist for Ashe, and Kale can and will shred through these champions if she's allowed to, with the kind of front line that Trundle has, and then you go in with a Nocturne onto the Tristana. So there are ways to engage Tristana. There are ways to lock down and then just absolutely just shred through some of the players in the front line. If you're able to get to the Tristana and get her feared and then potentially take her out of the fight to where she has to rocket jump out, then all you have is really Azir and 3 tanks hitting you, and you should be having a pretty decent time if you are Capedogs here in this fight or in this game.
I agree with you. This comp they have going really has like not as much damage as they really need. And CDU, they have a Kale, a Nocturne, and then like even a Trundle with his ult. There's a little bit of sneaky damage coming in, and I think Zenigma really just needs some. They're going to really need to play around trying to protect the Tristana, and then if that falls through, then I think it might be doomed.
Yeah, there's a bit of troubling situations here with Zenigma's comp. The one thing I will say is that they do actually have a decent source of magic damage in the Azir. Only one magic damage dealer on both sides here, in the Azir and the Kale. We saw the Nashor's Tooth into, I believe it might have been Riftmaker if I'm not mistaken. I'm not quite sure what the Kale went second at him last game, but I would like to see a little bit more magic damage on either one of these squads. Obviously, with Zenigma, the only thing they really could have gone, I think, may have been something like a Mordekaiser, honestly, to fit this comp. What we want to do with having a strong front line, if they want to fit some more magic damage into this comp. But I think that I would like to see a little bit more even outside of this Kale. But I guess it does give you a bit of an advantage, because you really can't build MR against Capedogs. Kale's doing that, is going to be doing crazy magic damage, but against a Trundle, Ashe, Thresh, and Nocturne, you can't afford to spend the money to go into to magic resistance. So there is an even stronger way for Kale to have the kind of effect in this game that lets her be an even bigger carry once you hit that 25-30 minute mark. But aside from that, I agree with you. I think this is going to be a tough game for Zenigma Eclipse to come through and get a win on, mostly because Zac isn't Diana, and you're not going to have the same kind of effect as Jungle Gym as you did in the first game, and that was most of the setup. That was where most of the gold was accumulated from, was the play set up by Diana, and I want to see how he plays on this Zac.
And yeah, I agree with you 100% on all that. I mean, I think like they're just going to need to play around their team comp, and if they I think they made the smallest mistake, it's going to go really, really bad for them. I mean, you saw with CDU, any little opportunity they took, they just ran with it, and that's it's going to be really troubling for the side of Zenigma.
Okay, so I think I know what you're gonna say here, but just to get it out there for the fam in the chat right now, which team are you leaning toward more? Are you seeing Capedogs going up 2-0, or are you seeing Zenigma able to tie this thing up?
I'm going to say here, I think CDU is actually going to go up 2-0. I mean, they're the favorite. I mean, right now, they looked really good last game. They looked really good last game, and they basically ran the same comp. And, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yes, sirski. I'm with you 100%. I went all in the chat. I don't know if you have any channel points, and I am a huge proponent for encouraging not only gambling but excellency and its sponsors, namely AM Grind Coffee. If you guys want to go ahead and put the command in the chat right now, AM Grind Coffee. Use code Excellency Esports at checkout for a 10% discount for you guys for all of your coffee needs. And we're gonna have to hope that Zenigma Eclipse is able to wake up and even out this series, because going down 2-0 in the best of 5 put you in a very, very bad spot. We'll have to see how they respond to this pressure from this very, very similar Capedogs composition. My cat's going crazy. She can't wait to see this game as well. We'll see you guys on the Rift in just a second.
Welcome back to Capedogs Unleashed versus Zenigma Eclipse. Blue and red respectively here, as Zenigma has opted to actually choose red side in this match. So move out onto the Rift. Have to see. No level 1 shenanigans to come out this time. Slightly different comp means Capedogs does not want it.
Be careful when you say that someone chose a side. I saw some things in the Discord with some questioning of side selection and whatnot. I won't lie to you, I barely read it, so me mentioning it at this point, really not all that impactful. But as we do go ahead and see basically a 5-man line of scrimmage with Trundle going ahead and dropping a ward, I believe in Pixel Brush, and then picking up a sweeper, which is very important. I think it's very strong for Trundle, especially if he decides to go from buff to enemy buff. That could be a very strong way to get ahead in this matchup, especially into a Zac that doesn't clear quite as fast as a Diana does. But as of right now, opposite sides of the map for these two junglers, definitely want to see if Panic Dingo is able to, or Polycraft is able to get days ahead. Going with the teleport ignite, this Nocturne could be very, very strong.
Also very risky in that longer lane up there with no flash and no dash. So we'll have to see how that pays out for days, or if Jungle Jim can even punish this. But also, I mean, Set, strong solo laner in his own right, could also look to just completely crush the Nocturne here in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, this is a champion in the set that we keep saying. We understand it is one iota underneath absolutely broken, and just having that face breaker is so not face breaker, the haymaker is so strong. No flash. It's a very wide area of effect there, so it can get you in some trouble as this Nocturne. Obviously, you do have the spell shield if you time it right, so there are things that keep you safe in this lane as days. This is going to be not quite a skill check matchup, but definitely something you're going to see aggressiveness versus aggressiveness here.
What a haymaker there, planning it out, letting Days just free hit him there so he can get maximum damage and maximum shield. But an early level 2 might mean an engagement here in the bottom lane, but Vidra and Tonic gonna just walk away from this one for now.
Yeah, this is a matchup here with a Tristana, which I like a little bit more than the Jinx. I think Tristana is a champion that is able to have a little bit more effect. Obviously, the range with the draw bead becomes very, very strong as the game does go on. I think Jinx has a little bit more pressure globally, but you can never really predict what a very good...
And Fresh can have you force Brandon Flash, has the haymaker, gonna keep him alive for a little bit longer, but he will fall to a flash auto there from Panic Diego as he finds First Blood in a very similar gank path here, doing the 3-camp clear as he finds First Blood top lane.
Yeah, so at first when I saw that happen, I was thinking, okay, well, since it's a little bit too fast and Polycraft and Daze can't reach him, I was like, is Polycraft going to go ahead and try to give this kill over to Daze? And I guess the play call was Daze didn't want to use his Ignite, so he said, just go ahead and use your flash to get in there and secure the kill for yourself. You're the jungler. Getting 400 gold as a jungler feels so good in the early game. So, that could have been the play call, although Daze had a chance to actually go ahead and secure the kill for himself if he wanted to.
Able to actually maintain both summoners here with the wave shoved in as well, so he'll be able to walk top lane with a pretty sizable advantage here on the Nocturne, and then actually look for one of those teleport paranoia plays towards bot side most likely. As there's actually Jungle Jim here in the wings of mid looking for an elastic slingshot on a Sirius for Y, but just hasn't gone for it just yet.
No, and he's getting, I don't know if he's getting pushed out or if he's just, they just happen to be in tandem with their movements. But Jungle Jim's going to go ahead and back right now. Up one camp on the Trundle, but definitely not up in gold at this moment. Backing up. Going to pick up 2 Ruby Crystals. Probably going to be going for a Sunfire. Maybe even an Iceborne Gauntlet. I can see Iceborne Gauntlet being a very strong item on Zac. I'm not really all that up on what Zacs in the jungle like to do. But I think either one of those options are fairly strong for him. But this is a much different look for Panic Dingo here. He's playing on this.
Ooh! Gets him out of the dash. Vidra's in trouble. He's going to be
Wow.
forced to flash. Panic Diego on the autos. Got to press the attack propped, but can they find the kill? No. Tonic, despite the exhaust, not going to deal any damage. And now in the top lane, it's a rebuttal. Jungle Jim looking onto Daze, going to find the connection. We'll pull him back. Daze going to take the damage, but they don't really have much themselves. Haymaker will do quite a bit, but they just can't find the kill. Daze still has teleport. Could get back up in the top lane off the back of a recall if he needs.
Yeah, so right there for Daze, he played that very, very aggressively. He wanted to get the fear proc on the he wanted to get the fear proc, but I don't think he actually needed to. He could have just walked away, honestly, just with the threat of the fear coming through with that tether there, and then just backing up. Took a little bit more damage, but he does have corrupting pots. He's gonna be just fine.
Oh, and this might actually be the kill. He's got the great spell shield. Daze knows his limits, finds the paranoia, finds the kill there in the top lane on a Winterfresh. And that's a TP-less set as well.
No TP on the set, and then I don't know if you saw this, but Daze actually spams question mark pings right on top of where he gets his second kill of the game, or his first kill of the game, second KP. And yeah, I mean, the first time he needed some help from his jungler. Second time, that was all Nocturne all the time, and you're seeing right now, even though you are playing a very strong champ in this set, he's an enormously strong champion here. You can get absolutely destroyed by a Nocturne. Help from the Ignite as well, but Nocturne is very strong in his own right, and this is going to be a very, very tough lane for Winterfresh moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the power of the Nocturne. The bonus AD off the back of that Q just gives him such a power in trades. That's why he's one of the best in the game right now. Kind of looking towards late game, I'm not sure how much success he'll find, considering both Warboss, Justin, and Tonic can kind of get away from the dive and the Stridebreaker combo. They both should have dashes available to get away from that, but there's still options for him to dive in and just play front to back in these team fights as well. So as long as Yoda and Series4Y continue to do the phenomenal job they did in that first game, I'm looking at another successful Capedogs comp.
Yeah, very successful like it was last game, and very similar to what it was last game. I mean, the only thing that's changed is Daze on the Nocturne, and he's been playing this early game very well.
Here's another shake up from Jungle Jim. Love to be the elastic slingshot, and it's just an auto from the Vidra to get the stun procs off, but the teleport will force the disengage. Now looking to get away from this one. Double teleport actually coming out. Yoda has no ult to be able to close the distance here, but they've got slow. Paranoia gonna dash on in, looking for Tonic there in the backline, but they'll find Vidra instead. Yoda picking up a kill off of 2 TPs, but they find and turn around a kill on the gank.
Yeah, they do make a very good job of finding an advantage there out of being put in a very disadvantageous spot. I mean, we saw Hayat's Talon miss, whiff, whatever you want to call that death sentence there in the back 90 brush. Just kind of opened himself up to taking some heavy damage. But when your 2 soul laners both come in to help out this lane, very good things happen. And like I mentioned in the first game with the hold up. Woo! Ooh,
Yoda.
Lantini.
Yeah, that's the Lantern. That's what it'll do for you. So Hayes Talon positioning correctly here this game. Able to get behind the ADC at that tower, let her go for the plates, and then get them to safety once the engage happens.
And what else that does is it gives you information on where Jungle Jim is. You saw him jump in there. Now you know exactly where he is. You know he's not top. This gives Panic Dingo the opportunity to go for this Rift Herald on spawn. And now you're taking the first 2 objectives. You have an even stronger beginning of this game. Top is shoved in. Set is losing more farm. He's already down 17 CS right now in this matchup. Not sure this is a cannon wave or not. It's not. He lost a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Another thing to consider here is that since we have Trundle jungle this time, or actually, rather, we have the Zac jungle this time from Jungle Gym. There's actually really good options here for Panic Dingo. He can pillar the Elastic Slingshot, and he also can use Subjugate off the back of the Aftershock proc and get insane resistances in this team fight. He's also playing into a triple melee. Oh, but actually it's an engagement here from Winterfresh. He's looking on to Daze, gonna be forced to flash out, and just a follow up from the Q. Nocturne with the Ignite will find the kill. Another solo kill here in the top lane.
Yeah, my guy, so when you're talking about how Panic Dingo can make things happen and whatnot, but we don't have time to speak about that because all I know is Daze has just gotten his second solo kill against a set. No teleport.
Oh, that's actually the Enchanted Crystal Arrow land on Avidra. Not much dunk time due to the distance, but gonna find a lot of damage there onto the Braum, and now they have the dive threat available. One more death sentence probably would do it here on Avidra, but they just can't find it. Minions gonna be too troublesome. Until they do it on top lane. Jungle Gym. Ooh, I don't know about that. That was a little risky, but he'll find the smite, pick up Ripchild, and deny it from charging into that second tower.
Bro, he slingshot smited the Herald into Panic Dingo and Daze, who both had their ults up. That could have been something. I guess Winterfresh coming through, you saw he was back alive, so you didn't really want to. You didn't really see him. Didn't really want to risk going in there. But I think Daze and Panic Dingo could have definitely made a move there and gotten a kill onto the Jungle Gym and set him back even farther in this matchup.
Yeah, an immediate punish here from bottom lane too as they rotate up and take that blue. Stridebreaker already picked up. Divine Sunder already picked up. I like the look here. I mean, they're just crushing it so far. It's double Ruby Crystal, and they're just now backing on Jungle Gym. He's going to get the Bambi Cinder, help his clear time a little bit, might help this Zac actually farm up and scale up just a little bit. And this is actually also the lane swap here. So Serious or Why, with that tower being down, we'll be playing the long solo lane. But also, rotating Nocturne in the mid lane, they now have the power of the Paranoia.
That's even more global pressure. Before, it was only for top and mid. Basically, maybe some jungle invades with Panic Dingo. But now, you're able to affect the whole map, honestly. Anytime that Daze goes out of vision, you have to hug the turret. You have to back up because you don't know where he's going to be. Now, for Winterfresh, you can safely assume that he's probably not going to make his way up to your tier 2 top turret. But you never know. I mean, he might be looking to get Serious for Why and Mikhail some very strong gold or some very strong kill gold and get him accelerated in this game. So there's just so much pressure that Daze can put on the map just by not showing.
Yeah, and he actually just did that as you were talking about it. He was sitting there in the fog of war towards bottom side, threatening and just forcing them to back off. Do you see them resetting? Dragon on the map should be picked up here since they have this super powerful top jungle duo now playing towards this dragon. I'll be just jumping onto this one right away.
Yeah, this is the power of having such a strong early game, and I mean when your top laner gets two solo kills, your bot lane is going crazy as well. The CS is even across the board basically, but not so much in the jungle. But you have so much pressure in all these lanes and ability to secure kills whenever you really want to that you're able to stack these dragons, get the Herald on spawn based off Jungle Gym showing on a gank. And now you've put yourself in a very strong position to make really good moves.
Paranoid interrupts the dash. Emperor's Divide comes through to push Daze into tower. Might go down here. He's flashless here. Survive meanwhile in the top lane. Will he get engaged on, keeping himself alive? Wait. But, actually turning around. Jungle Gym in trouble. Goes low. Not going to get taken out. It was the kill in mid lane. Warboss Justin Giddo down. And Daze keeps himself alive and will hang on to his shutdown gold.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, that was a pretty decent shuffle there from Warboss Justin. But, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, that was just another play, like I mentioned in Pick Draft, and Pick Ban, that what we saw for the most part with Justin was defensive plays for Azir. Able to slide out of ganks, able to sweep would-be attacker into turret aggro. But for the most part, we haven't seen any real aggressive, sliding into Emperor's Divides, into making crazy plays, the strong mechanical plays that we see out of very good Azir players. It's mostly things that prevent him from, or maybe even just prolong him from actually dying in situations, and it's making me question exactly why we've gone to this Azir pick for a second time in a row.
Yeah, just not able to get much done here in either game so far. Now 5-0. Capedogs Unleashed showing once again what they can do here on the map. And I gotta give a shout out here to Pallycraft, disguised of course as Panic Dingo on the Trundle. Interrupting a dash with pillars not easy. Shifting sands is not a slow dash by any means either. So if he can interrupt shifting sands, it means he can definitely interrupt elastic slingshot from Jungle Gym. And if you can do that, it's just so frustrating for Zac players to just get denied the ability to come in on that engage. So we'll have to see continue to do that here as we go into the mid game.
Yeah, and we're going to the mid game, so let's talk about what kind of things the Eclipse can do to find their way back into this game, because it looks like it's a very tough, a very big ask so far going up against this Capedogs composition. Oh my goodness!
What a death sentence! He actually looked for the dive here. I don't know if that was the right call. Glacier Fisher Winter's Bite will keep Hayden Talon stunned and in place. They look for the kill. Tonic finds one, has the reset on the rocket jump as they drop the exhaust, dashing forward now. He wants to find more. Yodacious in trouble here. Winter's Bite connects through minions. Vidra just needs one more auto to get the stun. They'll find it. Heal comes out, and Tonic picks up a double kill in the bottom lane. That is not who you want to be feeding that gold to.
Nah. Tonic didn't get those kills. Vidra didn't get those kills. That was Hey It's Talon getting a double kill on himself and Yodacious. That's okay. You hit the death sentence. It was very cool. You threaded the needle there. It was amazing. It looked great. It's gonna go on your highlight reel. Up until the moment you bait yourself and Yodacious into a situation that did not need to happen at all. I'm just very confused as to why it happened, who told him it should happen, the timing of it, when it happened. I mean, it felt like you see me hit that cue, now watch this, and not much else happens on the back of it.
You know, sometimes you just gotta play for the highlight reel. I think that may have been the move there. Unfortunately, it'll be going in the fail reel, as you know, it was a double kill and a situation that really didn't need to happen. I mean, Vidra had the wall up. There wasn't much they really could have done to get onto Tristana there. No Enchanted Crystal Arrow available, and they just ended up losing the fight. I mean, giving away 2 kills to Tonic is not great here for this team.
No, I mean, look, I am sitting here criticizing it. I'm not saying I wouldn't have done it myself. I'm not saying I wouldn't have done it. I hit a cue like that, I'm going to have to ride it. I'm saying in comms, I'm going, guys. Fellas, hey, you better follow up or something. Choose it. If you do, you don't. I'm going in on this one, so take that for whatever you want to go with it as. But I mean, I can understand you hit an impressive cue like that. You want to just go ahead and jump in. But we're going to have this Cloud Dragon, which is going to be our soul for this game, popping up on the map in about 30 seconds time. So I want to see both these teams try to get some vision set up here. I'm looking at this Zac and this Azir, both in the blue quadrant of their jungle, but not setting up vision just yet. Over here in the jungle, or in this river, I want to see these guys make it difficult for Capedogs to get their 3rd straight dragon here.
Yeah, CDU on the kill in top lane, still not quite at that level 16 power spike. Actually opting to TP down, so they want this 5v5. We got a fight on our hands here, assuming they look for the engage. Audacious has gotten Enchanted Crystal Arrow, can follow with Paranoia. Here's that sentence straight on to War Boss, just into double man play, and it's just Audacious in the backline, but a great engagement here from the Zac Jungle Gym, finding so many there in the backline, and now Sears for has arrived, heading here on a Winterfresh. Will find the showstopper, pushing back Yodacious, but it's not enough. Yodacious on a triple kill in the backline. They just had no access there, and they'll find so much for themselves. It looked good, but it's Capedogs Unleashed coming up big. Quick little triple there. Let's go ahead and look at this fight right here that happened. I mean, we see the teleport in a very strong flank from Sears for Y, and you just use everything on the front line. And when you have the Paranoia come through onto your carry, there's not much you can really do as Zenigma Eclipse, and you just really get cooked. There's no one hitting Sears for Y. Yes, you have some damage onto Talon, but at the back end of this fight, you see Winterfresh having to just use his Haymaker and try to ride the taxi of Yoda away from the fight. But Sears for Y is right there, and Audacious, one of these guys that we said could have been a higher in the all pro voting, just doing what he does best. He's now 4-1-0 on this Ashe. Really should be 4-0-0 on the Ashe, but he was, he got killed by a certain Thresh earlier in the game. But he's been playing extraordinarily well. That was just a great fight, really a great setup, honestly, for Sears for Y coming on the back end. Great engage, and honestly, there was just no way that Zenigma Eclipse had a shot in that fight once Kale came through. Yeah, honestly, I thought for a second there it looked really good for Zenigma Eclipse, but it was actually just Hayat's Talon's health bar that dropped low. And even he managed to survive by just flashing out. So, drew so much pressure, drew so much damage and cooldowns, and then just escaped the fight anyways. And it's just disaster here so far for Zenigma. Still looking for more fights. Baron not on the map just yet, but I mean, they already got pings on it. They want to go probably for a super quick Baron here. Winterfresh in trouble.
Whoa.
Nothing to be had though, as he's able to just walk out away from that one. Pillar, you know, it's not the greatest engage tool, but trying to find something here as they clear out all the vision available in this topside jungle.
You know, I'm not a really big fan of approach velocity on Trundle, but just looking at that engage right there, I don't know how much of that was approach velocity, how much of that was the Cloud Rift, giving him that crazy move speed toward, I believe it was Warboss Justin, if I remember correctly, just up there in that red side quadrant here for. Excuse me, it's gonna be a quick Eclipse there, but he was zooming toward him, and that's actually huge for Trundle. Being able to get on top after using that pillar is absolutely ridiculous. And when everyone has abilities that slow at some point, wait.
Oh, no way. There is a Zac in the wings here, but Daze is just so strong. Shutstar back in the tower, and it's 4-5 coming in on Daze. They want the shutdown gold, and they'll get it. Tonic picking up the kill. And Enchanted Crystal Arrow will land on the Zac, but it's a little too late here as Daze goes down.
Nah, my guy Daze is playing for content here. This man said, I don't want to go up 2-0. I'm trying to see what we can do in the best of 5. I'm trying to practice for this next series we might have if we win this series. There's just no reason why you press R twice, ever, to get a set. I mean, if it's 1v1, maybe you win versus Winterfresh, but now you set up your team to lose this Baron here on Leskis.
What can they do in a 3 versus 5? Looking to maybe continue the fight here. Warboss Justin comes over the wall, but they're looking at recalls. Kale in the sideline has on a tower, going to force out the entire reset of Zenigma Eclipse as they make it back to make this defense.
Yeah, and all those resets gives Capedogs a chance to go ahead and get pressure. They're using it all mid. I would like to see them go top as well and take away that turret, just because it gives you a little bit more pressure to take this next dragon, which will be on the map in about 90 seconds time. But either way, I mean, Winterfresh does still have TP, so he'll be fine to farm up in the top lane and make a move for the dragon when that time does come. But I want to see just how strong Zenigma Eclipse is able to use this Baron buff, or is it going to be mostly defensively as they try to get back in this game with a 6k deficit so far?
Yeah, a lot of that gold now being on Tonic just might be the saving grace here for Zenigma Eclipse. But this series, I've seen a little bit of a repeat. I mean, I think the script may have gotten mixed up here a little, but we're looking at, instead of Baron throws, the Baron of life. Both these teams from behind have now picked up Baron, and we're going to have to see if Zenigma Eclipse can do what Capedogs did and really find a way back into the game. Vidra in trouble, though. He's late on the rotation. He's just going to get flashed on here. Hey, it's Talon, lands the flay, lands the death sentence. That's a dead Braum here in the jungle. Drops the exhaust onto Yodacious. I'm not sure why, but that is a dead support, and they're looking for more. Paranoia pop. Can they find anything on Vision? They walk across. Hawkshot will find it. Here comes Nocturne, and he's got the wonderful kill as well. Daze going crazy here in the backline. Emperor's Divide to force him out, but a flash forward from the jungle, from the ADC. They want more. Thresh Lantern on the disengage, but a 3-for-0 pickup here. What a combo from Capedogs Unleashed.
No. Soapin, when I played a bit of Nocturne, I usually go for the far side, what's it called, alteration, the blue ward, to give myself some vision for the paranoia. I have never thought of using the hawk shot when the team is out of vision, to use that to enable me to go ahead and use the second proc of the paranoia. That was huge of Capedogs, and then it was also the Enchanted Crystal Arrow that helped set that up as well.
No, it's all coming up bad. Vidra getting picked up here on top of this tower as well as they look to close the grasp here. Looking at this tower despite not having Baron buff. Baron powered minions might help keep this base alive for Zenigma Eclipse, but there's 5 members strong here and they're hungry for more. Inhibitor now cracked open here. Soul claimed for Capedogs Unleashed as they look to continue to take more towers, but I believe we've got a replay we can throw it to.
Let's check that out. And we'll see here. this is going to be the setup right before the Dragon. Oh, it's just going to be Vidra getting caught out using both Flash and Exhaust. I think he probably could have done better to not use either one of those. You're just kind of cooked in the 3v1 right there. It goes down, and that's really a bad situation because you have no front line for Zenigma, and then you see the Pyramid come out. And look at this. Look at the play here. This is all Yodacious. This is all Yodacious. Using that Hawk Shot and then using the Enchanted Crystal Arrow that allows the Nocturne to get in there. Daze has been playing very well on his own, but he also shows that when he has some help from his team, he can make things happen. That was just crazy wombo combo from the Ashe and the Nocturne. One teeing it up, setting it up, the other one knocking it out of the park. That is just some crazy ability to go ahead and pick up that Cloud Soul, get this enormous pressure in the lanes, and now it looks like Capedogs is well on their way to securing a 2-0 in this best of 5.
And not just that, using the Divine Judgment from Series for Y as almost a Tark-like old. Typically, you see Divine Judgment used as a defensive ability. Just throwing it on Daze to make sure he could stay tanky through the engage. It was just beautiful setup from Capedogs Unleashed. And this is the team play we were talking about. We saw it in the first game. We're seeing it here once again as they look to continue the push, close in the grasp here on game 2. A death sentence lands. Heia's Talon has staved off Elite Syndrome though. Thank the lords. He's gonna be just okay.
Yeah, he's going to be just okay for right now, but we'll see how long his luck can last him now. Vidra, known to be a catch-out master, someone who gets caught out very quickly and easily. Look at that, through the pillar.
Yeah, pillar, hook, gonna be just enough to keep him hit sustained for now. Oh, that's a dive from Daze, as now looking to snare up the Tristana in the backline. Daze is so tanky, but this wall is stopping this team from walking forward. Gonna find the Enchanted Crystal Arrow here onto Zac. Now he's getting pulled back. Vidra's in trouble too, as well as the Bobs come out. That's the support falling. That's the jungler falling. Now 3 versus 5 here on the map. As Series4Y has a crazy flank. He's in the backline. He's in the base. Set and Tonic trying to find the damage here as he dashes on forward, but he's just too dang strong. Set with a showstopper backwards. Might be able to find one rebuttal kill. He'll eventually fall, but the sphere has come through. The team has come through, and it's Capedogs looking at the Nexus once again.
Very strong showstopper from Winterfresh to stop Series4Y's show, but it looks like Zenigma Eclipse's game 2 is just about over. You can't mess with the boss, and this is just, like we keep mentioning, very strong team play from the side of Capedogs. We saw in the game number 1, Zenigma Eclipse had no front line. They said, okay, let's triple down on getting front line with a Set, with a Zap, with a Braum. Well, now they have no damage, and now they allow Daze to pick up that Nocturne, and he's able to get onto the actual players that do damage. So they find themselves in a pretty rough position, trying to find their identity in this matchup, and it's not worked out for them in the first 2 games so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think another thing I'd just like to comment on is the difference in playstyle. I said on the player power rankings pre-show that no team in Excellency plays topside. Here we see Polycraft YouTube constantly going topside and enabling Daze in both of these game wins. So continuing to do that, we'll have to see if that continues throughout the rest of the series. They're at match point here, but we're going to throw it over to Shells and Zilla to further break down this last match.
Muchas gracias, Open. I am Shells. That is Zilla. My guy, Zilla, tell me what you saw in that last matchup, man.
One of the main things I remember from that was the 1v5 top lane coming in from Daze. I got my head scratching a little bit. I mean, you are ahead, but trying to 1v5? I don't know about that one.
Yeah, he did go ahead and he pressed R twice when he didn't need to press it once at all. I think what happened is he didn't see Jungle Gym at first, and all he saw was Winterfresh. He said, "I'm going to send a message here." I sent a message in the lane phase, sent a message earlier on in the mid game, but I want to send another message. He wanted that extra solo kill onto Set, and I mean that was his only death of the game. I mean, look, I don't know if you have the stats in front of you, but only 1 death per member on Capedogs. Everyone only had 1 death all game.
Oh my! This is a complete it's a sweep right now, and they're just playing like really well, as you guys said. Like they're playing really well as a team. They're playing together. They messed up once coming with that 1v. This would have been a perfect game for CDU if Daze didn't 1v5. but still, I think they're just doing, what they do best, playing as a team, playing together. Even with the days messing up 1v5ing and losing Baron off that, they're able to get the momentum back and close out the game.
Yeah, I agree. And even with that Baron being taken, all that was like Zenigma Eclipse, just playing it defensively, losing a fight 2 minutes later, and then not really being able to use any kind of advantage with that Baron. So it ended up not really being too crippling for the side of Capedogs. But you've seen these first two drafts, these first two comps. What are you expecting to see down 0-2 going into game 3? What would you want to see out of the Zenigma Eclipse to keep them in this series? What do you want to see from these guys?
I think more damage coming in from the mid lane. They keep with this last pick in the top lane, but I think there's just safer options top lane that you can play for blind pick ability, like Malphite, Cho'Gath, and if Shen isn't banned out, you can play Shen. You can pick Shen and then just ban out Mordekaiser and save last pick. If they're red side again, save last pick for mid and something that's more damage dealing, because I think there's really not that much impact with picking Azir, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what my eyes went to. I mean, honestly, is looking at that Azir, and it was like prioritized. I mean, not really prioritized. It was always the R4 pick, but it seemed like they really want to see they want to see this Azir in the composition, and it feels like he's only using the abilities defensively, and once it gets to the late game where Azir can be strong, CDU is already way too strong to really stop. So, like, I agree. Maybe some more damage top, but also I want to see. I just want to see something different from the mid lane here for Zenigma.
Yep, and I mean the bot lane, maybe a different support. I mean, I play for I play for Hawthorne. When Vidra, they subbed in for Zenigma. They brought out the Braum, and I wanted something different in the support. They've played Braum 3 games I know of now, and I think maybe something more impactful would be better.
Yeah, I can see that. See, the thing about Braum is it makes me also wonder about Fifi. I mean, the thing is, Fifi does have other things he plays. It's not like he plays a ton of Braum. Like, he has other things that he's played, and he's played well on. I mean, Fifi Do You Love Me was someone we talked about in our production meeting about maybe he could be, one of the best supports in the league, but he's not really showing it here. He got caught out at least twice in a 2-3 minute span at the back end of this past game. Not really the hugest of impacts in game number 1. Honestly, I really do want to see him on a more, maybe just an engaged champ, maybe something like a Leona, maybe even put him on something like a Seraphine, like Soulpain was talking about earlier on. But I think that there's a couple things that need to be done in this next draft to where you really have to change and get out of your comfort zone. Obviously, the Azir isn't working. The Braum, I'm not going to say is a huge factor, but there are other options you can make, options you can take than just picking champions that protect your AD carry from dying. It's more like prevention of trying not to lose rather than trying to win the game, and that can always be a strat that like hurts you in the end.
Yep, and I agree with you on that. And in the top lane, I want to see something, maybe, I don't know, something a little different. He played, I can't even say that. He played Jason set, but I was thinking this set was going to be a major pick coming in, and then he had a decent performance. Like nothing that crazy. And maybe something else in the jungle too. I mean, maybe something more impactful than a Zac.
Yeah, I mean, we did see the Diana come through, but in that situation, it was only the Diana that was impactful. So we went for a more team-oriented jungler that can help, maybe hand over some kills to his laners. That didn't work out. So I want to see if there's a good medium that Zenigma Eclipse can find for themselves, because otherwise they're going to find themselves in a very, very quick series up on out of there. It may as well just be a 3-block. We're in the best of 5. But this may as well be a 3-block if they do get 3-0'd here. So they have a lot of things they need to fix to make sure they can extend this series. It'll be a uphill battle, but I gotta say that I have to expect that they will have a better showing in quarterfinals than we've seen so far. Anyway, we'll be back very, very soon to get to the draft and whatnot. We'll take it to a quick break here while we get things settled, and we'll be right back in just a minute.